Tonight, an unprecedented ticket rush as the Crows prepare for battle. A big bank warns we're being ripped off at the pump. A fitting farewell for the last South Aussie missing in action. And injecting some star power into Alberton.
7 News with Jane Doyle.
Good evening. Adelaide's in the grips of finals fever as Crows fans rush to secure tickets for Saturday night's knockout clash with Collingwood at the MCG. Some travel companies are putting on extra services to cope with unprecedented demand.
The Crows Open, $1.69 favourites to beat the Pies on Saturday night. At those odds, fans are already talking up their premiership chances.
No doubt that we can beat Collingwood and then take on Geelong, then bring on St Kilda, baby.
The general public will have to wait till Wednesday to buy semi-final tickets. This morning, members got in early to secure their seat at the MCG, but it wasn't your traditional doorbuster.
Oh, it's in Melbourne. You may not be able to get there. We're okay to get to Melbourne.
Obviously, there'll be a fair few Collingwood supporters, but we're not going to dwell on what they're yelling out to us. We'll just focus on the game in hand.
If you haven't organised your way there, time's running out. The cheap flights are gone, so prepare to pay up to $400 a seat. You'll have to fork out more than $130 to get there by train, and buses are filling up fast.
We even received emails this morning from people saying, are you putting on extra coaches?
On top of all that, at least 5 busloads of official Crows supporters will make the pilgrimage across the border on Saturday, and what a rowdy trip that will be.
All the fans out there, if you can get across the border and come across and support us, we'd all appreciate all the support we can get.
Mark Mooney, 7 News.
Drivers are being told we have even more reason to fume at the petrol price. Economists say the national average has hit a 10-month high despite lower wholesale costs.
After nearly a year of rising petrol prices, drivers have all but given up.
Like I say, you can't do nothing about it, you just got to pay it.
Pay a premium, 129 cents a litre at this Caltex. It's the same story down the road at Shell and across the country. The national average price has reached nearly 128 cents a litre, a 10-month high.
I think they just try to rip everyone off as much as they can.
Economists agree drivers are paying too much.
Prices should have fallen over the last week by about 1 to 2 cents a litre. It hasn't occurred.
The wholesale petrol price has dropped by 3 cents since mid-August. The Singapore price index has also come down, while the Australian dollar rises. But prices at the pump keep on going up. Even the experts can't explain why.
That's probably a question that could be answered by oil companies.
The oil companies won't comment on camera. They've told 7 News prices should come down next week, but they're not making any promises to drivers.
We think the Australian public is keeping a close eye on the actions of the oil companies, and we continue to do that as well.
Edwina Bartholomew, 7 News.
A sickening attack at Glenelg overnight has prompted fresh calls for earlier hotel closing hours. A 27-year-old man was taken to hospital in a critical condition after being punched and kicked on Jetty Road. The local mayor says Sunday nights are becoming a growing problem because some bars stay open until 3 a.m.
I do not believe that keeping hotels open at very early hours in the morning is helping either the young people or the crime rate.
Police say the victim's condition has improved. 2 teenaged girls had to be rescued after they became trapped in an underground maze of drains in Adelaide South. Strangely, they used social networking site Facebook to raise the alarm, but it was 4 hours before they were found.
Dressed in pyjamas, cold and anxious, the girls aged 13 and 19 were pulled to safety from this drain by the MFS around 7:30 last night.
The 13-year-old was hysterical.
Mum was asthmatic, but she started to panic a bit.
The pair had earlier split from a group of friends to take a shortcut through a tunnel. When they became disorientated, they used a mobile phone to update their status on Facebook, asking for help.
One of the mums had come and showed me that they'd text on Facebook that they wanted them to call the police. They didn't take it so seriously until it became late.
A friend stepped in and called 000.
People were stuck in the drain, we could not get them out.
Residents launched a frantic search, tracking their cries for help.
Just a lot of echoing, screaming. Got all the other kids screaming at them as well.
The girls weren't harmed, but the MFS has this warning.
If they are in difficulty, to contact the fire service directly by
calling 000 rather than by social networking websites.
There are kilometres of easily accessible drainage under Noarlunga Downs and surrounding southern suburbs. 7 News has been told many young locals know the underground systems well and frequently explore them. Michelle Vella, 7 News.
Disgraced champion cyclist Chris Jungaward has made a courtroom apology for a hit run that seriously injured a teammate. He's been convicted of leaving the scene and aggravated driving without due care for knocking down Matthew Rex in 2007. His lawyers asked the judge to suspend any jail term he may impose during Friday's sentencing. The last South Australian airman missing in Vietnam is finally home and at rest. Pilot Michael Herbert disappeared almost 4 decades ago when his bomber crashed in the jungle. Today he was given a final salute in Adelaide.
They weren't mourners. Michael Herbert's family, his mates and grey-haired veterans from Australia and South Vietnam were celebrating his return. Pilot Herbert and navigator Robert Carver disappeared after a high-altitude nighttime bombing run. Their remains were found near the wreckage of Canberra bomber Magpie 91 just 7 weeks ago.
They laid together for 39 years in the most common, humble grave. After being so long together, it feels okay for them to come back to their separate homes.
Fellow officers agree.
It is a combination of a lot of grief, a lot of hurt and a lot of uncertainty.
They were both wonderful young men, always be young men to us.
And finally our guys are home.
At a solo tribute, he was just a boy of 10 in South Vietnam when they went down.
I love to be here to pay respect to what they did and what they gave to my freedom.
Michael Herbert left the cathedral under a guard of honour and an F-111 rolled out of the storm clouds. He would have loved that. He was a pilot. Murray Nicol, 7 News.
Scientists from around the world have gathered in Goolwa to discuss the crisis facing the Lower Lakes and Murray River. Global Wetland and Rivers Conference delegates inspected the Goolwa Channel following recent emergency measures to refill it.
There were socio-economic pluses in the Goolwa area and I guess some disbenefits in the areas like Malang and further up the river.
Nearby, demonstrators overshadowed a local council meeting to condemn the construction of controversial regulating dams. Scientists say a cure for Alzheimer's may be as little as 2 years away. In a major breakthrough, they've pinpointed new genes that increase the risk of getting the disease.
Listen to 60-year-old Cheryl Philippich and you'll understand why Alzheimer's is such a hideous disease.
It's worse than death because it's a slow, painful illness.
Her mother Helen had it. She couldn't even recognise her own family. Cheryl has been watching these latest developments with great interest. An international research team has uncovered 2 new genes linked to brain lesions which occur in patients with Alzheimer's.
The proteins that deposit aren't able to get out of the brain and be eliminated effectively, and we think that these genes are involved in that process.
With our ageing population, the number of cases of dementia are expected to increase 4-fold over the next 40 years, affecting 1.1 million Australians by the year 2050. While the research continues, scientists say a healthy lifestyle is essential.
We must maintain the blood flow to our brain, so exercise and healthy diet.
Neil Warren, 7 News.
Thousands of Australian women could be denied free breast cancer screening to curb the number of mammograms. The service has been overstretched since the public cancer battles of Kylie Minogue and Belinda Emmett.
Which is great, and it's
all women over 40 can have free mammograms. Every year, 1.6 million women get tested.
This pedal's going to come down tightly on your breast.
Testing surged after Belinda Emmett and Kylie Minogue's public battles with breast cancer. But her reports recommended cutting services for women outside the 45 to 75-year-old age bracket so that at-risk group can be targeted more vigorously. Some specialists are worried.
40 to 45 age group is a controversial one, and I think we need to digest this report and perhaps lobby the government for more funding.
A mammogram detected Kim Chambers' tumour when she was 39.
I'd perhaps like to see, rather than a drop in services and increase in resources.
But the researchers behind the report say there's not enough evidence to show mammograms for women under 45 and over 75 are effective in saving lives. The federal and state health ministers will discuss the report's recommendations in November. Angela Cox, 7 News.
A man who crashed after a high-speed chase overnight is facing a string of charges. The 38-year-old suffered a shoulder injury when the car hit a tree at Rosewater. He'd earlier been clocked at almost 130 kilometres an hour on the Port River Expressway and was allegedly driving while disqualified. A motoring journalist caught speeding while test driving a $500,000 Ferrari has been fined almost $2,000 and banned from the roads for 6 months. 58-year-old Rod Easdown was clocked doing 230 kilometres an hour through the Perth Hills in July. He says he didn't realise how fast he was going and deeply regrets his actions. Former Victorian Premier Jeff Kennett's being sued over claims he compared homosexuality to paedophilia. The comments were made to a Melbourne newspaper following the sacking of a gay football trainer last year. He said the club had done the right thing because the trainer was in charge of a group of young boys.
Do you regret the comments?
Can I say I have no comment? Read my lips. Thank you.
Gay rights campaigner Gary Burns is demanding an apology and a $20,000 donation to charity. Parents are being warned to keep children well away from alcohol following the release of a sobering study. It found millions of Australians had their first taste at a tender age, raising fears about a new generation of problem drinkers.
Jason, go and get your old man a beer, will you?
This is how most young Australians are introduced to alcohol, at home and by family. National guidelines recommend alcohol shouldn't be consumed until the late teens, but new Salvation Army research reveals a staggering 2.3 million Australians had their first sip aged 10 or younger.
There has been a culture of saying it's okay to give your children a drink at home in a safe environment, but the reality is it's not safe.
Carly and Daniel first tried alcohol before they were 10. Both later became alcoholics.
It take me to places I didn't want to be, turned me into a person I didn't want to be.
They're urging parents to keep their children away from alcohol. But the Salvo's research has found 6 million Australians still believe it's safe to give under 15s the occasional sip, despite medical evidence linking early drinking to later problems.
Don't allow your children to drink. It's crazy.
Anastasia Salamastrakis, 7 News.
Overseas, an attacker's thrown acid in a crowded Hong Kong shopping district, injuring 11 people. Victims were taken to hospital with bandages covering their burns. A man was arrested nearby. It's the 4th acid attack in the city this year. Beijing residents may have had a few heart-stopping moments when they saw tanks rolling through the city last night. It wasn't a military operation, just rehearsals for celebrations marking the 60th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. Roads were closed for hundreds of missile launches and trucks. Drivers in Samoa are preparing for chaos tomorrow when they have to switch sides of the road. Until now, they've always driven on the right, but the government there says the move will make it easier and cheaper to import cars from Australia and New Zealand. Many aren't happy about it, so they're flocking to church to pray the transition will be a smooth one. 2 American brothers have set a record for the smallest powerboat to cross the Atlantic. It took 2 months to travel 10,000 kilometres from Florida to London in their 6-metre fiberglass vessel, which stopped in various harbours to refuel.
Made us do it. 6 scary times, in my opinion. He said 3.
It's only 3. He says, I almost killed him 6 times. I almost killed him 3 times, okay?
The boat only just made it after being hit by huge waves and an iceberg. A national campaign against child abuse has been unveiled in Canberra, calling for an end to the culture of silence. Politicians and community leaders gathered on the soggy lawns of Parliament to launch White Balloon Day.
We as a nation have to change this culture of silence and begin to speak out in the defence of our children.
It's believed around 1 million Australian children are subjected to abuse. Well, the power season might be well and truly over, but the club still has an important role to play in Hollywood. Adelaide-born movie star Teresa Palmer's being put through her paces at Alberton as she shapes up for her next film.
When you're an emerging Hollywood actress, there's no such thing as a holiday. For the past 5 months, Teresa Palmer's been flogged by a personal trainer in the US for a top-secret upcoming movie.
He knew that when I was coming back to Australia, he knew I'd totally slack off and eat barbecue shapes and Chicos.
So she called up her beloved Port Adelaide Football Club, and they were happy to help out.
To be honest, at the end of the season, it's kind of refreshing.
And he's been training me hard. It's been really difficult. It's sort of like a love-hate relationship.
Teresa's a long-time Power supporter. This is her as a 14-year-old with a very young Warren Tredrea. Last month, she went to her first game in almost 2 years.
A little Port supporter came up to me and she's like, "Oh, can I have your autograph?" And my dad was laughing about it. He's like, "Who would have ever thought this had happened to you at Alton?"
Teresa knows Port Adelaide's always looking for new members, so she's taken it upon herself to run her own Hollywood Power membership drive.
I have a few of my American friends that got their Port scars. They have no idea how these footy players go on and they're handballing the ball and they kick it between the big poles. They don't understand whatsoever, but they love it.
Tom Wilson, 7 News.
Now it's time for sport with Ditz.
Jane, down at Albert, a lot of our supporters look like that, I can tell you. Now, coming up in sport, SA's one-day wonder Callum Ferguson stars again. Aussie Kim eclipses Venus at the US Open. An AFL superstar banned for eye gouging. And after a quiet weekend, the Crows warm up for the Magpies.
On Today Tonight, sent home alone after open heart surgery.
I wouldn't even treat the dog like it.
The 84-year-old put in a cab from Adelaide to Mildura.
She could have a stroke at any time.
A 400-kilometre taxi ride on her own.
It's absolutely disgusting.
How could this happen? On Adelaide's Today Tonight.
We've had a bit of experience over the years. Not that we're experts by any means, but we've got a better idea of what we're doing now. That's why we chose to insure our home with new APR home... What was it called?
Home Advantage.
Yes, that's the one. Home Advantage automatically covers us for things other insurers call options. So we don't have to worry whether we've missed something or not.
If you're over 50, then your experience deserves to be rewarded. So give APR a call today.
Herbal Essence's new long-term relationship, Creamy Red Raspberry Conditioner, helps protect against split ends so you can grow your hair longer. New Herbal Essence's long-term relationship collection.
The QEH Research Foundation Lifestyles Lottery is your life-changing lottery. The second prize is a family fun lifestyle. Take the Audi Q5, Sea Ray Sports Boat and $5,000 cash for the ultimate family adventure. The list goes on for 2,900 total prizes and your chances to win are an incredible 1 in 20. Order your tickets today. Visit lifestyleslottery.com.au or call now 1300 852 177.
One cup of great coffee could win you $1 million. Buy a new Royal Bean Coffee for your chance to win $1 million cash at Donut King.
Two carpets rated residential extra heavy duty. Both have a 15-year wear warranty. Red Book Total Wear Warranty allows only a 10% pile reduction. The other, 40%. Red Book Total 15-year stain warranty. The other, nil. Red Book Total 15-year soil protection warranty, the other nil. Red Book Total is 10% cheaper with far superior warranties. For expert advice from people who know carpet, Macleay, Glen Osmond Road and Bulk Store, Brompton.
Every goddess deserves a little more me time, so there's Venus Spa Breeze with soft lathering shave gel bars. It pampers and smooths your skin with every stroke. Just wet, shave and relax. Venus Spa Breeze, also available in convenient disposables.
At Holden, we're always thinking about the road ahead, how we can make our cars safer, more fuel efficient and even better to drive. But there's no use thinking about tomorrow unless you're doing something today. So we are. Right now, the Captiva SX all-wheel drive comes with 7 seats, stability control, side curtain airbags and 17-inch alloys, all from just $36,990 drive away. Visit your Holden dealer and see where Holden's road ahead can take you today. Go better.
This Sports Report is brought to you by Holden's Road Ahead.
Welcome back, and the Crows say it's too early to tell if Nathan Bock and Nathan Van Berlo are a chance to tackle Collingwood in Saturday night's semi-final at the MCG. The Magpies have lost playmaker Scott Pendlebury.
After 2 lazy days, the Crows were back at the club this morning, sweating it out. No sign of Bock or Van Berlo. Both are rated 50-50 at best. Bock did appear later at the club's indoor training session, but didn't do much.
If Bock doesn't play, it's you just got to deal with it, get over it pretty quickly, and we've got full trust in whoever plays in that back line.
Andrew McLeod, who's a bit sore, and several other stars had a light run a short time ago at the club. None of them are in doubt. Adelaide will start favourite against Collingwood, despite the Magpies winning their last clash.
We looked at that game and said, we probably missed out on a few scoring opportunities in the first half, and might have changed that kind of score. But we're going to be prepared for it this weekend.
They won't have to worry about Scott Pendlebury. He's had surgery on a broken leg, while Anthony Rock is unlikely after rolling an ankle against St Kilda.
The swelling was up a bit straight after the game, come down considerably today. So it'll be a day-by-day situation, but yeah, looks a bit better than last night.
And James Seller looks a bit better than he did on Friday night. The improving youngsters now strung together 10 games.
There's no secret that was certainly a big year for me. It's been a lot about my conditioning and competitiveness and intensity around the contest. So, from now I reckon it's just been hard work.
The Crows are now third favourite for the flag. They've come in from $11 to $7. Mark Soderstrom, 7 News.
And having disposed of the Bombers, Cornsey likes the Crows' chances against the Magpies.
Good job on Friday night, but I hope the Crows have forgotten it already. Playing Essendon was a formality. The only good thing about that game that it was played on Friday night, the Crows now have 2 more days recovery time than Collingwood. Now I hope they remembered the lessons from round 19 when the Magpies beat them at home. The Crows dominated but lost, and there's 3 reasons for that. Firstly, poor kicking for goal, 9-13 to 13-9. Secondly, the defensive zone leaked like a sieve, and the coach ignored the threat of Alan Didak. Craigie was at the MCG yesterday. He would have seen that St Kilda put a hard tag on Didak, and he struggled. Yes, I know I said last week the Crows would play Collingwood in the grand final. Well, the grand final's come early. I expect the Crows to win, and they are a real chance of beating Geelong in the prelim final. And my latest prediction, Crows St Kilda grand final. And just like 97, Crows will win.
OK. Brisbane says skipper Jonathan Brown will play against the Western Bulldogs in Friday night's semi-final. He's likely to be joined by Josh Drummond and possibly Jed Adcock. The Lions are keen to prove they're genuine flag contenders.